It is a process by which people develop awareness, concern and knowledge of the environment, and learn to use this understanding to preserve, conserve and utilize the environment in a sustainable manner for the benefit of present and future generations.
On track, environmental education is the correct answer. Which of the following conferences recommended the framework, principles, and guidelines for environmental education at all levels, local, national, regional, and international, and for all age groups, both inside and outside the formal school system? Sharp thinking. Intergovernmental Conference is the right choice.
What are the roles of teachers in teaching environmental education? I. To develop awareness about environmental issues. C. To organize tree planting. G. To develop habits of cleanliness among students. I. To organize awareness campaigns.
Good thinking. IAENEVI is the right answer.
The responsible use and protection of the natural environment through conservation and sustainable practices to enhance ecosystem resilience and human well-being is called DASH.
Correct response. Environmental stewardship is the most accurate answer.
The Department of Education urges all public and private schools to lead the role on environmental awareness by enhancing DASH education.
Clear logic. Your choice environmental is sound and 100% true.
The human activity among the following which causes maximum environmental pollution having regional and global impact is?
Well reasoned. Industrialization is the correct choice.
Identify the environmental approach used in the following. Participates in the clean and green project of the community.
Excellent choice. Education for the environment is the right answer.
Supreme Court was directed in judgment given in 1991 to make the subject DASH compulsory in the college curricula.
Great thinking. Women's study is the right choice.
Which of the following is the most suitable environmental activity can be given to students in English subject?
Well picked. Video presentation, dolly dramatization is the correct answer.
Identify the environmental approach used in the following. Appreciates the aesthetic beauty of the Awa Falls.
You're right. Education in the environment is the correct answer.
Identify the environmental approach used in the following. Conducts investigation. Research on the oil spill.
Nice selection. Education about the environment is the correct and valid answer.
What was the main objective of the United Nations Conference on the Human Environment in Stockholm in 1972?
Excellent. Discuss environmental degradation and human health is a brilliant choice.
The world's first intergovernmental conference on environmental education was organized in the year DASH.
You chose 1977, and it is correct.
Who stressed the importance of education that focuses on the environment in email or on education?
Great job. Jean-Jacques Rousseau is the accurate answer.
Identify the environmental approach used in the following. Uses paper bags in going to the market.
Nice work. You chose education for the environment, and it is correct.
Environmental education enhances the problem-solving and decision-making skills of an individual.
Strong choice. Yes is the right answer.
I think we should dash when we don't use them. It is an effective way of saving energy at home.
Perfect. Turn off the lights is the correct choice.
What is the primary aim of instilling new patterns of behavior in sustainability education?
Good job. Your answer, fostering positive and sustainable relationships with the environment, works well here.
Which environmental movement's main aim is to protect the trees on the Himalayan slopes?
Right again. Chipko movement is a valid answer.
On which of the following date National Education Day is celebrated each year?
Well done. Levanov is the right choice. It should involve finding solutions to real environmental problems and issues. Smart move. Action-oriented is an accurate answer. What role does reducing carbon emissions play in environmental sustainability? Correct. Mitigating the impact of global warming is the right answer. International Environmental Education Program has been launched by.
Nicely done. UNESCO is a solid answer.
What is a key value to instill in students through environmental education?
Right choice. Appreciation for the natural world and all living creatures is the best answer. The UN's first major conference on international environmental issues was. Solid response. Stockholm Conference is a valid choice. The United Nations has declared the decade 2005 to 2014 as the decade of.
Exactly. Education for sustainable development makes sense, and it is right choice.
Which one of the following is not a class of hazardous materials?
Bravo. Mental hazards is the answer.
What is an important attitude to have in environmental education?
Valid point. Appreciation for nature and all living beings is true.
Which of the following is a cause for environmental degradation? Smart pick. Growing industries and factories is the correct choice.
Environmental degradation is divided into major categories.
You got it. Your choice 2 is right.
Teaching of environmental education covers the following except. Nice work. You chose spiritual domain and it is correct.
Humans are for the environmental problems like pollution.
Bravo. Responsible is the answer.
How does intelligence contribute to environmental education?
Nice selection. By analyzing complex environmental issues and finding innovative solutions is the correct and valid answer.
Strengthening environmental education is otherwise known as.
Great job. Dipt order note 52-11 is the accurate answer.
Which degradation leaves direct impact on the ecology?
Well picked. Environmental degradation is the correct answer.
World Environmental Day is celebrated every year on.
Strong choice. 5th June is the right answer.
What is the primary focus of environmental education? Exactly. Emphasizing the interconnectedness of all living beings and ecosystems makes sense, and it is right choice.
What is the primary goal of sustainability education?
On track. Promoting environmental awareness and responsible behavior is the correct answer. What is the primary goal of sustainable development?
Right again. Balancing economic, social, and environmental needs is a valid answer.
The Environmental Protection Act came into force on. Perfect. 1986 is the correct choice.
What environmental rights could be protected?
Right choice. All of the above is the best answer. Environmental components consist of dash. Solid response. Ecosystem, biotic, abiotic, and social behavior is a valid choice. WE stands for. Nicely done. Meaningful watershed educational experience is a solid answer.
How you will get all these quiz questions in PDF books format?
You're right. Contact Narayan Changda is the correct answer.